Hey guys, so someone sent me a link to a video, and the title is How India Got Its Name. So this is so weird. I never thought about this. I never thought about why India named India. I know why people, like the Native American people, why some people call them Indians, because when Columbus and all this story, he thought they are Indians, because they look the same to him. Everyone looked the same to him if they're not from his race. That's a racist thing to do and to say, but I never thought about why it is called India. We call it Hodu in Israel in Hebrew, but yeah, let's just learn.
India is one of the most important places in human history. For millennia, it has been a cradle for human civilization and culture. Today, the subcontinent hosts over 1.7 billion people, which is more than all of Europe, North America, and South America combined, all within the confines of only 5 countries: India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan. The largest by far is the country of India, with a population of over 1.3 billion people alone, while Pakistan has a population of over 210 million, and Bangladesh isn't far behind with over 160 million inhabitants. Because this land has had such a rich and extended history, it's also had a number of different names given to it by the people living here. But if we look at names used for the land by outsiders, we can see that all of these names have something in common. Generally, almost every single one of these begins either with a hin or in sound,
Okay, so
and either
there's
ends or at
Hodu
least
in
features
there.
a
This
do
is how
or
we
dia
call
sound.
India.
If you put these two aspects together, one combination is India, the name the English-speaking world knows. But maybe more interestingly, if you put the other factors together, you'll get Hindu, which many might know as another name used to describe India. This not only reveals that these two words are related, but in fact have the same origins and mean virtually the same thing. Take Hindustan, for example, the name given to India by the Muslim Mughal conquerors in the 11th century. Dissecting this name, we get Hindu and Stan.
Okay,
Stan in
Stan
this
is a
context translates
country?
into land of. That's
Yeah.
why so many Muslim-influenced countries end with Stan. So then Hindustan basically means land of the Hindu. Looking at India, we can do the same thing, Ind and Ia. Ia is also just a common ending in Latin to mean land of, and that's why so many places end with Ia as well.
Oh,
So
cool, I
India
didn't know
basically
that.
means the land of the Ind, which we just saw means Hindu. The modern Chinese name for India is even more simple, Yindu, which just derives from Hindu. I can keep going, but basically what I'm getting at is India's name is just the land of the Hindu in essentially every language from outside the subcontinent. So then who are the Hindu? Well, the Hindus weren't really a unified people group. There was never a Hindu empire or anything. Of course, there were empires consisting of Hindus, but that's never really how they were identified. More so, being Hindu was a designation for where these people lived. The original name Hindu was applied to those who lived along the northern part of what they called the Sindhu River, located mostly in modern-day Pakistan. This river was not only the starting point for the rest of Indian civilization to spring from, but it was also necessary to cross to enter the rest of India from the west. So when the Achaemenid Empire came to control these lands from the west, they used the name of this important river to refer to the entire land, and the people who lived here. And in their language, the Sindhu River became the Hindu River. Then on the other side of the empire were the neighboring Greeks, and to them, Hindu turned into Indus. And finally, this was passed to the Romans, who turned it into Indus, and that's what the English-speaking world knows the river as today. So if this was the Indus River to the Romans, then the land around it became the land of the Indus, India. Okay, so India came from Indus, which came from Hindu, which came from Sindhu, the original name for this river. But then where did Sindhu come from? Well, Sindhu is originally a Sanskrit word given to the river by the people who settled here. And in Sanskrit, Sindhu was used to describe any large body of water. And I guess that technically means India, and all other forms of it mean the land of water. Which doesn't really make any sense. If there's a lot of water, then it's not land, it's water. But yeah, that's how India got its name. One last thing though, the term Hinduism didn't arise until much later, with perhaps its first usage in 14th century Persian texts. Hindu we already know, but ism in English represents ideas, philosophies, and theories. It came to English via the French isme, which came from the Latin ismus, which of course got its beginnings from the Greek ismos. So when people needed a word to describe the unique ideas, philosophies, and theories of the Hindu people, it became Hinduism, the ideas of the Hindu, and that's how their religion got its name. An important aspect of Hinduism is karma, which essentially is the belief that the actions someone takes now influence how they fare in the future, with good deeds generating good results in return and bad deeds creating more misfortune down the road. A good example of this karma is my Patreon. All of the money that gets donated helps me make more and better videos, which in turn results in you getting to watch more and better videos. See? Do good, receive good. So if you want to improve your karma like these guys, there's a link in the description. Seriously, thank you to those who helped keep this operation going. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. I have a whole playlist of how other places got their names, so definitely check that out.
Really interesting. You know, in the Jewish Bible, without the New Testament and all this stuff, there is the book of Esther, which in there is a story about a kingdom, such a big kingdom. The kingdom was from India. It's actually said, the word India, well, in Hebrew it's Hodu, it's actually mentioned in our Bible. This is why I love talking about India, because this is something, your country is something that our Jewish Bible is recognizing. How crazy is this? I absolutely love to get to know more about the name India. I usually try to say India and Bharat, like at the, trying to mix it up sometimes, because a lot of you told me that you more like identify as Bharat than India. So yeah, that was really interesting. It was just like, I love to see how much the history, and when different places has different rulers, how the language was changing, and I don't know, sometimes evolving, sometimes just like going complete crazy with the rules and stuff. Yeah, but I never actually thought about how India got its name. Like I said, we call it Hodu, and Hodu is the name that we saw in the Bible. So we just like, yeah, this is Hodu. It's how the Bible call it. It's how we call it. Yeah, but that was really cool. So thank you so much for sending this to me, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.